Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the 8-Bit Adventures podcast. I am your host, Sean Hayes, and we're back for episode 330 to bring you the latest and greatest gaming news of the week. So apologies for no show for the past 2 weeks. The weekends got away from me. We were busy, and there wasn't really time to do a show like beforehand, like earlier in the week. So wasn't really my intention, but we're hopefully going to be back on track in the future weeks. So this week's news, bit Nintendo heavy, but there are do have a couple non-Nintendo news items. So some very exciting. So yeah. Hope everyone's been doing well. I have been playing Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition quite a bit. I'm now 170 hours in. And am trying to just clear up side quests before it. So the reason why it takes so long is I try and do all of the side quests that are available before progressing the story to the next chapter. Because every chapter that comes out, you get a bunch of new side quests. And so my goal is to try and 100% this game. I don't know if I'll be able to, so we'll see. But yeah, so I'm starting to get to the point where I'm doing like end game builds and things like that, where a lot of the grinding really comes into play. Once I finish that, I don't know. We are getting close to Donkey Kong Bonanza time. So that's in a few weeks. And one of our news topics for today. So that'll be exciting. And just Mario Kart aside from that. So, or filling up my, or clearing out some of my backlog from Switch 1. So thankfully, a lot of the games that I have are compatible. And at least the one Xenoblade that I have yet to play seems to... it did get some sort of like stability patch. So, yeah. Because the other ones seem to have like stretching issues, or where the resolution wasn't designed for 4K. So... just some issues. People are having some graphics problems with that. So yeah. Why don't we get into this week's news? So first up, probably the most shocking news this week, Darrington Press announced that Chris Perkins and Jeremy Crawford have joined their team. So a couple episodes ago, talked about their announced retirement from Wizards of the Coast. And I said, I don't know what they're going to do. They didn't really talk about it. Perkins has talked about just kind of disappearing out of the public limelight for a while. So, yeah, this completely caught me by surprise. I think it's a little bit of a pleasant surprise. Everyone kind of assumes that they'll be working on Daggerheart. But I mean, Darrington Press does stuff besides Daggerheart. So whether they're working on an original project or providing like adventure and campaign support for Daggerheart, or I don't know if they want to work on board games or something, but this is a very pleasant surprise. And it seems like, that it was the two of them came as like a package deal. So that's also a bit fun. So yeah, this is, there are a lot of, shared a lot of memes of like the Critical Role team being like, I'm the captain now. So yeah, we'll have to see what comes of this. But yeah, and I don't quite remember what my take was. of like if they were just going to stay retired. If that's the case, then yeah, I was wrong. Or if it was the case where I'm just like, I don't know what they're going to do, then I'm completely surprised by this move. But I mean, they're on good terms with the Critical Role team. They might even get behind the table to do to run some games, since they are both still doing that with Acquisitions Incorporated, which I assume they'll continue to do. Maybe. That gets to be a weird thing, because like I don't know if they would just end up being subcontracted out through Penny Arcade, like in partnership with Wizards of the Coast. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird thing. So who knows? So yeah, congratulations to the Critical Role team for their own acquisition. And I'm excited to see what these guys come up with for Darrington Press. Next up, I talked about it before, Donkey Kong Bonanza. So we had a Nintendo Direct this week, talking specifically about Donkey Kong Bonanza. Just kind of sort of an overview of the game, the game features and mechanics and stuff. I'm still super impressed. It looks like you can climb everywhere, like you could in Breath of the Wild, but now also you can destroy everything, like that you can just punch your way through like rock walls and stuff. I assume there's got to be some things that you can't break through to preserve the architecture of the game. But even with the amount that they showed, it's pretty like it's pretty open. So does seem to be a sort of collectathon style game a la Super Mario Odyssey or Donkey Kong 64. Doesn't look to be as egregious as Donkey Kong 64. Like you're not having to collect things in order to collect things in order to collect things. But yeah, I'm very, I do like that style of game. And it looks like it's taking inspiration from Mario Odyssey, and that there's like little objectives that you can do, but it doesn't seem like you're selecting a particular mission to go on. Sort of like in the style of Mario 64, Mario Galaxy, Mario Sunshine. But also there's a co-op mode. So with the second player playing Pauline, who is in the game. She's in the game as a child, who is set to like sing. So like music's going to be a big factor in the game. I have to say this is a bit of a weird take. Or, I'm sorry, a weird path that they went with. Like I'm excited to see what comes of it, but yeah, I wouldn't have picked Pauline to be like a partner character. I am a little sad that it's not like Diddy Kong. And the weird discourse that I've seen around this is like people are now trying and fit this game into like a Mario Donkey Kong timeline, and I don't think you can. Like I think in terms of Mario specifically, we got to get away from the timeline stuff. Because like the theory was like, oh, maybe this is a prequel, and like this is actually Cranky Kong, who was the original Donkey Kong, except Cranky Kong is in the game. So I don't think that's the case. But also, I mean, I think it's just sort of going with the idea that these are just characters in a production, which was like the whole point of like Super Mario 3. So yeah. My hope is that like the other Kongs appear even in just a minor capacity. But they also showed off the villains. So it looks like just big mining corporation is the villain of this one, which is staffed by other Kongs. And that we're just like drilling deeper and deeper into sort of like a lost world type of backdrop. Or like as you dig deeper, now suddenly like you get worlds that look like regular worlds, except they're still underground. So I'll be interested to see like why that works the way it does. And they showed off a lot of the sort of mechanics and movement mechanics. So barrel jump or roll jumping is a thing. I'm glad to see that kept in from the side-scrolling games. Ground slapping they kept. And there's like a ground pound, and a couple other like movement modes. So looks like Donkey Kong isn't as jump oriented as Mario is, which I think is a nice way to differentiate it. But there's a lot more of like physicality of like rolling and smashing and pounding that works well with the destructible environment. And I think they're going to lean very heavily into that. My only concern is hopefully there will be like some indication for stuff that's hidden in the environment that you need to find that way. Because otherwise, like I don't want to have a game where you just like have to absolutely clear out everything. Just because that can get very tedious. So yeah. But also co-op. Co-op mode should be fun. So and I saw this wasn't part of the direct, but I saw in an article that the DK rap is coming back. So that's okay. I don't know why you would do it but not have the other Kongs. But who knows? So next up, Xbox Wire reports that among other titles, Warcraft I Remastered, Warcraft II Remastered, and Warcraft III Reforged are coming to Game Pass next week, June 26th. My birthday, actually. So yeah, who knows? Maybe one step closer to getting World of Warcraft on Game Pass. But yeah, it's really interesting to see now more Blizzard stuff on Game Pass. And this is, it's certainly a way for if folks want to get it for free, ish, they're able to get it through Game Pass. So yeah, that was just I popped up on my feed. I was like, oh, this is worth talking about. But yeah, I haven't really heard anything much about Warcraft 1 and 2 Remastered, so they must be okay. Unlike when Reforged first came out. I also know Warcraft 3 was a lot more popular than 1 and 2, so I don't know. I don't know if there were problems with it, if they would be as noticeable among the crowd. So, next up, IGN reports that Limited Run Games has asked Nintendo to pull the Gex Trilogy from the Switch 2 eShop while they await approval for public release of a backwards compatibility patch. So apparently, limited run games had a bunch of backwards compatibility issues. 12 of their games have recently had patches approved and are now have those issues resolved. Or there was also a Switch update that also seemed to have taken care of a lot of problems with them. Gex Trilogy, they have a patch. It has been sent to Nintendo. They're just waiting for it to be approved. But they have asked them, like, these games are not really playable without it, so please pull them from the shop, which I think is interesting. But also, like, I don't know. I don't know how long it'll take for that patch to get approved. So it feels like, if it's just a matter of days, like, maybe just leave it up instead of, like, taking it up, putting it down. I don't know. So if you have this game and you're trying to play it on Switch 2, I'm curious to know, like, if it's actually unplayable or if it's just, like, if there's, like, frame rate issues or like, resolution issues or something. So, yeah. Also, good to know that, like, there is a patch in the works, and it's just, like, in the final stages of, like, waiting for approval to be put out. And finally, our last bit of news for the week, IGN reports an official ad for Metroid Prime 4. It's an official poster for the game at London's Oxford Circus tube station, which I assume is like a subway. So this is apparently like part of a whole series of ads and banners and stuff for Nintendo. It's like a whole section of the station. And this is just like the last one in that. For folks who are listening to the audio podcast, has on it. So it's got a big splash of it for Metroid Prime 4, Nintendo Switch 2 edition specifically, and then it's got a big thing that says out now. Just to clarify, that is not the case. It is not, in fact, out now. And Nintendo has made a statement that said that is incorrect. It is still slated for a 2025 release, but no release date has been confirmed outside of that. It is definitely not out now. Unclear as to what happened here. I have heard some theories of like that normally there's like a sticker that goes on it that like has like a coming soon or a release date or something, and then like you just peel the sticker off when it's out. That seems weird, but I don't know. Maybe that's true. So yeah. So to any listeners who might have seen this and didn't hear the official word, no, it's not out now. You didn't miss anything. But yeah, and I'm just curious to see, like, because this is definitely like a Nintendo of Europe thing. I wonder at what point it failed. If it was like a contracted agency who put it out, if it's Nintendo of Europe itself. I don't know. It also seems like, did nobody bother to check when they put it up? Like, so, which that says to me that there was some issue like with an agency that did this. Because like they wouldn't know. Like Nintendo of Europe would obviously like put it up and be like, that's wrong. So yeah, I don't know. Unless like they unless there was a different poster that they were supposed to put up. Yeah, I don't know. This also strikes me as particularly interesting because I work in advertising. And so yeah, I'm just like, where was the QA on this? Because like that seems to be a very simple thing of like, hey, is this the right one? So that leads me to believe that like it might have been an outside agency that was putting these up and then just like didn't know that it needed to be questioned. But then, like, also, how did they get the wrong one? Right? So, I don't know. It's just weird. It's weird. Especially for something, that, like, so they got this months early. I don't know. This makes me wonder if, like, Prime 4 is just going to end up, like, shadow dropped. Which I don't know why they would do, but, yeah. Yeah, at this point, it wouldn't surprise me if they were just like, and it's coming out tomorrow. So, like, if they do a direct and then they're just like, and the release date is now. Yeah. I don't know. I would imagine. I mean, they're probably good. They have to do some sort of lead up on it because they'll want people to get pre-orders in. So that will wrap things up for this week. So a little bit of a shorter episode, but it was mostly Nintendo focused and just still having trouble getting back into the swing of things. Now it's school's out, so it's having to do the dad business, just trying to get back into a regular routine for doing this. And I'm dealing with some like medication issues that are making just living a little more difficult than usual. So, please forgive me for, a bit of a shorter episode in the 2-week break. But hopefully starting this week, we'll get back on a regular track. Thank you all for joining me. If you would like to see more content from 8-Bit Adventures, be sure to check out 8bitadventures.com. If you would like to help support this content, the best way to do that is to become a patron at patreon.com/8bitadventures. Big shout out and thank you to all of my current patrons. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month. $1 US dollar a month. Opening theme is One Up by Professor Shy Guy. You can find his work over at professorshyguy.bandcamp.com. And with that, we are done for this week. So, as always, thank you everyone for joining me, and have fun, happy gaming, and enjoy your pie cake.